Hello everybody, Chris Profi, Musically Obsessed. Today I want to jump on a thread started by Jenna over at Spins and Needles. She's fairly new to the VC, and I'm going to leave a link to her channel below. Definitely check it out. She's got a real thoughtful thread for us. She's a senior in high school right now, and she's of course, like we all are, going through this situation now, and I can't even imagine what it would feel like to be a senior in high school during all of this, with graduations and proms and all of that kind of, basically put to the side. So what she wants us to do is think back to our time in high school, and tell how music was a part of it. And I thought that this was just a great idea. I love her enthusiasm, and I love how she's staying positive through all of this. So definitely wanted to jump on this thread. So let me just first say that I would not have gotten through high school if it wasn't for music. I met all of my friends through the music that I did in high school. I was a part of the chamber choir in high school. We actually went to Virginia Beach, Virginia, and performed there. I was involved with the theater program in high school. We went to Muncie, Indiana, and spent some time there learning about theater. I was involved in theatrical shows in high school. This is what made high school for me. These are my memories from high school. And the friends that I made through the music, I still have today. I still talk to today. I pretty much learned how to sing in high school. So I thank my high school music teacher, Polly James. I thank my high school vocal instructor, Peggy Clapp. Thank you so much, because what you guys gave me in high school, I carried through into college and into post-college family, my job now as a teacher, and even I can see it influencing everything ahead of me as well. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the music in high school. First of all, as I told you, I was involved in a few theatrical performances in high school. I did actually the first play that I was in high school was called Me and My Girl. This was my first time on the stage. I didn't even know I could do something like this. It definitely was putting me out of my comfort zone, but I'm so glad that I did, because my love of theater and show tunes is even present today. So this was the first show that I was in high school, Me and My Girl. The next show I was in was a Stephen Sondheim show called Anyone Can Whistle. And then my senior year was Carousel. All right. Now I graduated in 1993. So I'm a little bit older, but high school is high school, right? I mean, no matter what year it is, we all have, similar memories. Jenna wanted us to talk about some of the music that we were listening to in high school. I remember getting together with my group of friends on the weekends, and we would hang out and listen to music. So I was a music nerd in high school. I was a theater geek in high school, but you know what? I was proud of it. We all thought we were cool, right? But looking back, we probably were not that cool. But, we would get together over the weekends. I would bring my guitar to the parties. I would play and sing to everybody. I was really the only one in my group who knew how to play the guitar, so that was kind of neat to be able to share that with my friends. We would get together and listen to everything. I mean, as you guys know, I listened to everything. And it started, even before high school. But here's some of the stuff that I was listening to in high school. I love The Dead Milkmen. This was a great album I listened to a lot, Beelzebubba. I had a couple buddies who got me into the Grateful Dead in high school. We actually saw the Dead live. And I remember my friend had a Saab, an old Saab, and we would drive around in it, and he had a mixtape of all the Grateful Dead stuff. And I remember, just really getting into the Dead. And it just, every time I hear the Grateful Dead, I think of those memories of the summers and driving around with my high school friends and listening to the Grateful Dead on cassette tape in his Saab. It was awesome. I was listening to bands like the Jesus and Mary Chain. I was listening to bands like Depeche Mode. I remember Music for the Masses and Violator. Those albums were big time parts of high school. I was also into heavier stuff in high school. I remember loving this record, DRI Thrash Zone. That was awesome. We would listen to a lot of Ramones. I actually had this on cassette, Ramones Mania. I remember sitting in my friend's basement and we'd be listening to the Ramones, and I was like, wow, these guys are freaking awesome. And I started to write songs that sounded exactly like the Ramones. I should dig those out. We were listening to a lot of The Cure back then. I still love The Cure. This is their box set, Join the Dots. This is B-Sides and Rarities. And high school was when I got into country, and this guy was a big influence for me, Garth Brooks. I loved his vocal style. I loved his guitar playing. I loved his songwriting. I loved the songs he sang. This was the guy who got me into country music. And I still love Garth. He's an amazing performer. I saw him perform with Trisha Yearwood, about a month ago on TV, where they did that sort of, quarantine concert. And if you saw that, you know what a great performer Garth Brooks is. He's amazing. We were listening to a lot of REM back in the day. I remember the album Green. That was an amazing album. So yeah, music was a huge part of my high school experience. Oh, here's another one I just remembered. Remember the movie Dirty Dancing? My friend was a huge fan of that movie, and I had never seen it, but it was fairly new when I was in high school. So we sat down and watched it, and I loved it. I still love that movie, but I mean, the big part of that movie is the music. And whenever I hear Dirty Dancing and see that movie and hear the music from that movie, it reminds me of my time in high school. So listen, Jenna, I just want to say that you're going to remember these times from high school. You're going to remember these friends. You're probably still going to have some of these friends when you're my age. Listen, I'm 45 years old, but I still think back and remember those times in high school. I still talk to those friends. I just talked to a friend of mine yesterday. We were on the phone for about an hour. She was just checking in, and that was a friend from high school. So you're going to have these friends when you're my age. You're gonna remember these times. You're gonna remember this music. And I know it's a tough time. I feel so bad for the class of 2020, but you guys are gonna get through this. You're gonna move on. You're gonna go to college. You're gonna move on. You're gonna have families and kids, and your lives are gonna go on. And you're gonna think back and remember these times, and they're tough, but you're going to remember the good times as well. So thank you, Jenna, over at Spins and Needles, for kind of getting this thread out there. And this was really cool. And high school it's a special place in my heart. I had a great high school experience. I know some people look back and they go, I hated high school. But for me, I loved it. Sometimes, maybe even a little bit more than college sometimes. I just had like a real close knit in high school. And those times, those were growing times for me and for all of us. So it was a real special time, and the music was definitely a big part of that. So thank you to Jenna. And I'm going to stop rambling. So listen, enjoy the rest of your day and listen to music.